During this video, we install some killer looking rock lights from Nilight on the Jeep Liberty. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is sponsored by Amazon. No, not really. And today's video is on some rock lights. We're gonna do rock lights on the fan favorite, the Jeep Liberty. So Nilight sent us some rock lights to put on the Jeep Liberty. So we're gonna unbox these lights and see what we got going on to put them on our Liberty. So let's get after it. Well, that didn't take long to unbox. Not much to it. Looks like we basically just have a controller that we need to run a hot wire to. I'm gonna start off by putting this under the hood. Just got these quick connectors for each light. We're gonna mount each light in the wheel well of the Jeep Liberty. So this under the hood, this under each wheel well, and then there's some easy connectors for each light. It is kind of cool that the little pads that they mount to, one has a curve on it, so you can do like on a roll bar probably, and then just the flat one. So we'll go with the flat one inside the wheel well. There's hardware provided. I'm assuming that I'm gonna go to the easy route and throw some self-tappers in these lights. The instructions are pretty basic, but Nilight, I'm kind of disappointed. No free sticker. All right, I'm gonna start by bringing the Jeep in the garage, throwing it on jack stands, and taking all 4 wheels and tires off. I don't think you need to do that for this install, but it's gonna make things a lot easier. So let's go get the Jeep. Well, we're on the back side of the Liberty. So I did what I said I was gonna do and do the easy, quick and dirty install with those lights. And I just used some self-tappers. We mounted the first light in the wheel well back here. We encountered our first issue. So this is where we mounted the first light back here on the passenger rear. And the cable, you can see, is not long enough. So we went on Amazon and I searched for an extension for these lights. So I ordered the extensions and they will be here in a couple days. So we'll have to wait on the rear and move to the front. We're underneath the hood here. The controller can only go so far with the provided wire from the battery source or a power source. We're gonna use the fuse box under here. So we're gonna mount the controller underneath the hood here, and then we can work on putting the lights under this feller right here. Well, we got the next light mounted underneath the wheel well here, and I'm liking what I'm seeing right there. We drilled a hole through the wheel well here and just fed the cable through and used that grommet, so a couple self-tappers, and we got ourselves a light mounted. The cable comes right underneath our washer bottle. And then we'll just have to run the cable across over to the controller. Well, I put the last light in, and I'm just loving these flat fenders that I put on this Liberty. Holds all the tools. Well, we got all the lights mounted underneath the Liberty. Now it's time to go under the hood and do some wiring. But remember, we can only do the front lights as the cables on the back lights aren't long enough until we get the extensions. So let's get under this hood and see what we got to do to wire that controller box to get some lights. I'm getting a little excited to see what these look like. Well, we opened up the fuse panel underneath the hood, and we got our test light hooked up to the ground. And we're just in here searching around, trying to find a constant power. So when the key isn't on, we want power to those lights all the time because we're going for style points. We want the lights on when we don't have the ignition on. I put this little end on for the controller. Now we will find a 12 volt. There's our 12 volt. So now we just have to hook our controller positive wire up to this in this little guy here, like such. Now we just need to ground that wire. So finding a ground source, we have the test light on the positive side. And we got the 12 volts still hooked up. I pulled these wires out of this wire loom a little bit. And I'm gonna hook the ground up to this little controller box relay that I have for the winch. So your application might be different. You just need to find a ground basically anywhere on the body here. So you could actually tie into a bolt like such. So you could just take a body bolt off and put your ground to that. But like I said, I'm gonna use that relay for the winch. This is kind of fun. I am preparing to ground that controller box. Ground cable accidentally hit the fender, grounding itself, and we have lights. So the ground cable hit the fender when I was preparing to take that nut off. And I noticed my feet were lighting up because we got lights. That's pretty exciting. I don't know why I haven't done this years ago, because I'm kind of a light guy. This is awesome. All right, let's finish wiring this up. You'll get this pamphlet when you order the lights. So to activate the lights, you have to go and download the app, and then you can party with the lights. We got most of the wiring complete. We are just waiting for the extensions for the back two lights. And we got the ground wired in. And this is what we got. Stuck the controller right in here. We have limited firewall space in here. So I'm really not sure where to put this controller. So right now this is looking pretty good. Thinking about bundling the wires up in here. And this guy will probably just stay there as we have it grounded now. And then our power source is in our fuse panel. So let me kill the lights in the garage here, and I'll show you what this looks like for the front, at least. It's looking pretty good. There we go. We're going with the red. I'm gonna try to snap a picture of this and throw that on this video because the camera's just not justifying how cool this looks. Well, the picture didn't really justify how cool this looks either. So I'm guessing you're just gonna have to go out and get yourself a set for yourself, because I'm telling you, this looks way cooler in person than on camera or with a photo. That wraps it up for tonight. We can't really do anything else until we get the extensions for the rear lights to wrap this project up. So let's wait a couple days for myself. It'll be just a second for you guys. It's 2 days. Well, it's been a couple days and we got the extension cables. They came in the mail, so let's install those. But first, I want to show you what I've started on those rear lights off camera. Let me bring you underneath the Jeep and I will show you how we did the wiring. By the way, get yourself a lot of zip ties. This side was pretty easy, the driver's side. We just came down, zip tied into here, underneath the rockers, kind of tagged along here, went through this hole in the frame, then came through here, and then we tied in these little plastic holders for the brake lines and the fuel lines down this rail. The passenger side was a little bit more difficult. Same thing, we ran the wire down through here, through the frame again, but we had to drill that hole. Then we came through the frame here on the back side of the axle, and then we tied into the same wires as the driver's side. We'll continue to follow the brake lines, able to connect the cables to the controller. So we got to put the extensions, the two ends that are near each other now, to the controller. So let's bust out those extensions and get those rear lights flashing. We just got done wiring the backlights. And let me tell you, I had to use my inner finger yoga skills. I cannot get my big hands up there next to that transfer case and the front drive shaft. But we got it. We got it back up through the firewall. Now we just have to clean up the wires a little bit underneath the hood. I have 4 rock lights on this Jeep Liberty. Well, we did it. We got all the wires bundled up underneath the hood here, and it's looking pretty decent. I'm gonna order the switch panel from Nilight, and we're gonna install that in the cab, so then we don't have to use this fuse panel anymore, because with the switch panel from Nilight, you actually get another fuse panel where you can put different accessories to it and then control it, those accessories from that switch panel. And then I think we could actually turn the lights on and off without even using the app by using that switch panel. So without further ado, let's show you the rear lights. Well, that's a wrap on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the quick and easy mod that you can do on your Jeep or your off-road vehicle with those off-road lights from Nilight. The install was pretty straightforward, and every application is going to be a little bit different, but it was a little bit difficult just routing those rear cables for the lights, but at the end of the day, it still wasn't that bad. There's a lot worse projects out there. So if you haven't yet, go check out Nilight on Amazon and see what kind of discounts they're throwing out for Black Friday. And also, like I said before, we're gonna be putting more Nilight products in this Jeep in the near future. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and click on that bell so you can see upcoming videos on what kind of lights we put on this Jeep Liberty. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time.